Okay, now what is the purpose of this tutorial? The purpose or objective of this tutorial is to configure the MySQL databases with the Java source code. So just click over your Eclipse IDE. After double clicking over it, it will be opened like this. I can close this project and then you can build your project again. It's up to you. But most of the students who want to do something with Eclipse, they know how to open a project. So, for example, they can do this by just clicking over this file, then click over new, and then you have Java project here at the top. Just click over it and you can name this as I have already given it as a J programs here. You can just name it as J uh, programs uh, and then uh, just for example, you have to uh, click over just finish button after a moment. So as I have given the same name J program, so that's the reason that my finish button is now disabled. Uh, uh, or this create module info is maybe it is already checked. So if you want to create a package, then it is better to check this option. But if you don't want to create any package, then uncheck this option. So, but still it is disabled. So what I can do, I can simply change its name to programs, and now finish button is enabled. So just click over it and then you will see another folder here. So right click over this folder and then build a class. So here this is the class, and you can name as I am doing without introducing any package, so I don't have to give any name for the package. So I will give the name of the class simply. So I am going to check the connection of the MySQL database. So I am giving it name as a connection test. So you can give this name whatever you want. And I am enabling the main function also. Click over this public static void main function also, and then click over this function, finish button. So, okay, connection test, and then you write some 5 connections. Uh, I have uh, uh, given a lecture today in which I told you 5 steps uh, of database connectivity, but I will not repeat all those steps here again. So I have a source code here with me just to save the time. So I am just copying it and pasting it in the editor. And I have given that same name for this class connection test. So I'm just copy pasting it, and you are viewing it. So you can type this source code on your machines if you want, or I will upload it on the course page actually. So if you want to use the MySQL database, so you have to import java.sql.star. So all the libraries and classes in this SQL class will be included or imported here in this source code. And again, the public class connection test is the same name. Uh, all the things are same. So what is the thing needed here? Uh, just so this is basically the first step you needed. As I told you in my lecture, that you have to register the driver for the MySQL and also for the JDBC because we are using Java. So class is basically that class dot for name, and this is the fixed string that you can use. You don't have to. Previously in old time there were no CJ here, but now in these new version CJ is also needed. Otherwise you will see some warning here. So com.mysql.cj.jdbc driver, this is the fixed string that you have to include. I already explained what is this in the class. What is this in the class? I already have explained. So I'm not going to explain these things. Otherwise, it will take video tutorial will take too much time. So anyhow, then the second thing which is necessary is the connection that you have to make an object of the connection class from the driver manager class, and the member function is get connection. And this is again a string jdbc colon mysql localhost 336 is the port name that you have given while configuring your mysql, and it is the default port number. And MySQL is basically the name of the database which I have given there during configuration or installation in the previous tutorial, uh, where I explained how we can install MySQL on our Windows machine. So this is the database name. So you can use the name of your databases, whatever you have given when you will install your MySQL on your machine. So you can just give the name of your databases, and this is the username, and this is the password which I have given during the installation of MySQL in my previous video. So, and after that, um, uh, if my database is existed as a MySQL, and root is the username and the password, then the connection will be built and the reference will come here in this con variable. And now I'm going to check here, con is equal to null. If it is null, then I'm printing jdbc data connection is not established. And similarly, if this is if con not equal to null, then it means it has something. So then this is the else portion, and I'm checking. I'm just displaying the message, congratulations, jdbc is established successfully. So let's check this source code. And finally, I am closing this connection. So these are the things that you needed. Uh, Maybe the fifth step after connection is the statement, create statement method, which you can use to execute your SQL queries. So that is something missing. Just to make it short, just to take a confirmation that we have some good connection with the database or not. So let's check it that it's okay or not. So just save it and click over this button, play button, and I am seeing an error issue here. So what is that one? Exception in thread main class not found exception mysql. So basically, my source code is not finding the driver actually. So as I have not configured the connector of MySQL for Java yet, so now I have to configure the connector. So how you can configure that J connector here? So just click over this your project folder. After right clicking over it, then you can go to these properties, click over this Java build path, and then libraries above, and then click over this class path. You have to add some jar file here. Jar file is the file for your connector that you have installed along. You can separately download from the dev.mysql.com by just first writing or typing something MySQL connector on Google on Chrome browser, and then you can search that, and you can download that connector separately, and then uh, you can add that external jar file here by clicking over it and just giving that uh, path of the connection here. But as I have installed that connector along with MySQL already, when I installed um, MySQL, so that was where you can find that connector. So basically here in the program files, you can see MySQL, and MySQL Server 8 is installed, Workbench is installed. So this is something you already done. But here you will not see the connector. Where that connector is located, you have to go into the program files with x886 folder. This one, the second one, this one. So just open it and go again into MySQL. MySQL folder is already there. So here it is a folder for connector J80. And this jar file is uh, here you can see MySQL connector Java 8.0. So this is the now you have to add this jar file here. So now click over this button, add external jar, and I already just click over this C, go into this program files, and then go towards the MySQL, and into the connector you have this jar file. Just double click over it and it will be uh, highlighted here in Eclipse, and then click over this apply button and finally click over apply and close. And now we will see again by clicking over this play button that either it is now working or not. So just click over this button, and now congratulations, JDBC connection is established. So now your source code is running successfully and you are connected with your MySQL databases. And after this connection statement, you can create statements and you can execute your SQL queries by creating table or inserting some records in that table or deleting or whatever. So, but now your MySQL is working fine. So thank you very much for your watching, and I hope it will give you at least some benefit for installation and configuring your MySQL with this Eclipse IDE.